Hello everybody, welcome back to Hannah's Decodes. I'm Hannah, and today I thought I'd talk about something I've been hearing a lot of people talking about online, in particular when they're perhaps interviewed by other people, and they're often spiritual people and people with perhaps esoteric knowledge or can see into the future. And often the question is, did you feel like you belonged here on earth or came from earth? And often, as far as their soul or their past life is concerned, and often they say, no, I felt really like I was in an alien place, or I miss home, or I arrived and I felt totally out of place, like this isn't my planet. And I'm kind of, I don't know if the word surprised, but maybe a little bit surprised, because I have a memory as being a child and thinking or knowing that I was here to really protect and be a part of the earth. So the earth, even when I was little, seemed really important to me. And I think I've mentioned before, when I used to hear people, my brother used to stomp on, through the house and stomp through everywhere. He was a big, heavy-footed person, and my husband is now as well. And it still worries me. When I was little, I used to think, oh, that's too rough for the planet, or you should be stepping carefully on the planet. and there's elephants and horses and a whole lot of animals that tread heavily on the planet. But for me, it is a sign of respect when I was little to tread carefully and thoughtfully on the planet. And I can remember thinking for years, not until I became quite perhaps a teenager, I started to realize lots of people don't think like I do, that the planet needs protecting and care. And then perhaps I was primary school or sort of high school, and then I started to think, well, they're almost not worthy of being on the planet, or they don't deserve to be on the planet. And it's taken me to getting older and realize, well, if you're here, you deserve to be on the planet, and you're here to be on the planet and participate and do whatever your role is to do. So that was kind of my experience, where I felt very in tune with the planet. And I think that way I also became more compassionate about people, and started, just to look at people who didn't care for the planet. And perhaps, I think if you care for the planet, you care for yourself, and perhaps they need more care for, and things like that. So it was a nice and interesting journey. And I feel like I've been here many times before, perhaps not every lifetime, perhaps I come and go, but I really feel like I've been here many times, and many of my roles have been about the earth and taking care of the earth. And something just popped into mind and it's gone now. That's why I write things down, so I can try and remember a few bits and pieces. Sorry, I'm just trying to think what. Anyway, I'll continue on. And part of this caring for the earth, always in the back of my mind, there was something about being a vegetarian. And I really like the taste of meat. And in my youth, I probably ate quite a lot of meat. And I don't judge people for eating meat, but this is just my kind of feeling and experience, and my kind of knowing, in a way, that I sort of had some kind of contract to mainly eat vegetables and fruit and go down that path. And I actually know people who can't eat vegetables. There's something within their system that they just, that diet of vegetables and fruit makes them ill. So they actually have to eat a lot of protein to stay well. And that's fine. You know, I've always had pets and fed them fresh meat and stuff. So I'm kind of in tune with people who feel that they have to have a particular diet that has meat. But for me, it was sort of veggies. And as I get older, lots of animal proteins just don't really agree with me. And so I eat kind of less and less. And I do eat some sometimes if someone's made a huge effort with a meal, and I'll have a bit and stuff. So I think that's another thing I've been hearing about, both sides of people who are vegetarian or vegan and who are meat eaters, and it's kind of a little bit divisive. And I just think it doesn't, you know, it's your thing, your diet, you know what's best for you, and we don't have to judge. I mean, I have lots of my family members eat meat, and I cook meat sometimes to if I've got a family meal happening. So I just think we've got to relax a little bit about people's diets, and I've hear also meat eaters poo-pooing vegan diets because they're wussies or something. And I've never been one to eat those processed beef patty things that are made out of I don't know what. So I usually, if I eat veggies, it's all fresh stuff. So anyway, I just thought that sort of seemed to tie in a little bit about where I've come from and my feeling of my contract and my ideas of how I was to thrive on the planet. And I just thought it'd be interesting to bring that up and to let people do it their own way, because I think that's what another big thing we're here to do, is just stop judging and to let people do their own thing. What else was I going to say? Oh, this is what I remembered I was going to say. I years ago did a hypnosis session with someone who was a masseuse, a remedial massage person who also did hypnosis. And so I did a regression, and I went back. It was really interesting. I went back and back and back and back to one of my very early lives on Earth, and it was really interesting. The Earth was dark, and it was almost like being in dusk all the time, not really a sun. I never really saw a sun in the sky, or maybe there was a sort of faint glowing area of the sky sometimes, but it was quite dark and dusky. And the vegetation was a little bit mushroomy, or like big mushrooms, and really kind of unusual and almost alien vegetation. And I can remember I had the opportunity, and I've sort of felt like I wasn't 100% sure, but I felt like it was an opportunity to, coming from somewhere like the Pleiades, I'm not sure if it was the Pleiades, but somewhere where I felt there were a lot of people with quite white hair. And I know I haven't always had white hair. I used to have dark hair, but anyway, interestingly enough, coming from somewhere where I had white hair, and I wasn't an older person, it was just kind of the color of those beings' hair. And anyway, I had the opportunity to come down and spend time with some Indigenous people, and I'm assuming it was Australia. And it was fascinating because I wasn't really physical, but a lot of the Indigenous people, some could sense me and recognize that I was there, and others didn't really. So, but it felt like such a privilege to be on the planet and experience or observe the people that were living here, I think in Australia, or some type of Australia, whether it was joined to other lands. and observe and get to understand what was happening here. And I can just remember that feeling of just feeling like I was so lucky to be in that position, and not many people were chosen to do that where I came from, whether it was the Pleiades or something. So that I thought that was really interesting as well, and probably ties in a little bit to my love of the planet and the people. So anyway, on to the next thing. So we've gone through the veggies. So I just thought, talking about my past lives and this lifetime and things that make me feel good and thrive. And I was talking again to my meditation group, and we're talking about how it's so important to keep remembering our connection to source, creative source, and God, God, if you want to call them God, it God, but that creative essence that we have, and that's all around us. So connecting to that. And I feel by having almost knowing that connection's there, because we are connected, but we often forget. And so we feel like we're not connected, but we are connected. So it's kind of that remembering and doing some kind of creative healing to remind us and keep that connection palpable and open and strong. So I thought we'd do a little creative healing exercise where we recognize we are the creative source, and the creative source is all around us. And I actually also feel like there's a lot of talk in different spiritual realms about the central sun, and I feel like that has, for me, a big connection to source. And I'm not saying that's where source started, but for some reason perhaps it has something to do with the physical plane we're on, and that has a big energy connection to our experience here. So if you want to incorporate that central sun in our creative healing, I think that'd be nice. But if not, you can connect to God if you feel God is who you would like to connect with, and remind yourself that you are a creative source as well. So whatever reminds you of your creative being, and perhaps also incorporate your soul mission or your soul contract that you were supposed to do. Because I think, these kind of exciting earth times that we're in, where there's a whole lot of change happening, it's messy as well, and we can get distracted and lose sight a little bit of why we're here. So, because sometimes I think, why am I here? What am I doing? Am I actually having an impact on my surroundings and people? And am I doing good? Am I, should I be here? That kind of thing. So, and I deep down, I know I should be, but sometimes you scratch your head and go, why am I here? What am I meant to be doing? So not that you might not meant to be. Sometimes I think, and I know, that just being here is enough. But I think we all would like some kind of active practice or something to contribute to our world and the people around us, to make us feel it thrive, and hopefully that affects everyone around us. So that's a little bit of a windy road to get to our creative healing. So I thought we'd do the lovely quantum breath, the lovely deep belly breaths down into the bottom of our tummies, and make it gentle and breathing in through the nose and breathing in light and love, spreading it to all our hands, the tips of our fingers and our toes, and then breathing it out gently through our mouths. And then start thinking about us as creative source, perhaps the central sun, perhaps us expanding into all that there is. And anyway, I'll say some things during the meditation and you can decide whether you incorporate it into your creative healing or not. Okay, so finding a comfortable place to sit, feet on the ground, hands on your laps if that's comfortable. And taking those nice, deep, gentle belly breaths through your nose and breathing gently out through your mouth. Remember to breathe in light and love and feel all that energy running through your body to every part of your body and every cell in your body. With each breath, see yourself expanding. Your energy body gets as big as the room you're in with each breath. And with the next few breaths, it gets as big as your house or building you're in. And with the next few breaths, your energy body gets as big as this town or city you're in. And then as big as your country you're in. And as big as the world. Keep expanding your energy body to take up the whole of the universe. Start to recognize that there's no boundaries, that you can keep expanding with every breath. Notice that now you're looking at the central sun and you're enormous compared to the central sun. Gently connect your huge energy body with the central sun's energy. If you like, you can imagine holding the central sun gently in your hand. The central sun holds the codes to all souls. Life's missions and life's contracts. Request that you would like to be reminded of your quest, mission, contract for this lifetime. And when doing this, use your whole name, your full name. Say I, and your full name. Request to know my life, mission, contract, quest for this lifetime. I can see the central sun lighting up a bit and light streaming into my energy field. If you feel a little bit of resistance in your body to knowing this information, just suggest to your body that I would like to receive this information. Still keep that circular breathing of light and love. When you feel like you've finished and you've received your message, gently put the central sun back in its position. And start returning to the space you're in now. See your body, your energy body contracting, coming back through the universe, coming back to Earth, contracting into the room you're in and into your body. So, that was kind of interesting, and if you'd like to continue on, just pause. That was nice, and I think think I need to spend a little bit of time reflecting on the information I received, and I'll write a note so I remember to talk about what I received. And perhaps if you'd like to, you can let me know what you received, if you've received some kind of information. Okay, thank you so much, and until next time, I'll see you then. Okay, bye.